The patient shouted about tooth pain, but after the doctor carefully examined him, he found no abnormalities. The only suspicious thing was some white shadows at the tooth roots. The doctor couldn't see what the problem was, so he told the patient to go home and rest. When the doctor was about to leave work in the evening, he discovered several small insects floating in the sink. The doctor hurriedly picked up the filter, only to find it was crawling with toothworms. He instantly felt extremely disgusted, so he threw the filter into the trash can. Then the doctor suddenly thought of something. He immediately opened his computer to check the patient's x-ray. After magnifying the x-ray, he discovered that the shadows at the patient's tooth roots were actually densely packed toothworms. The doctor had never seen such a condition, so he went to the library to search through books. Finally, in one book, he found records about these insects. It turned out they were a type of parasite. They would lay eggs near people's teeth, then migrate to organs in the brain, but suddenly they disappeared without a trace within a few years. At this moment, the doctor felt his scalp tingling. The next second, he received a call from the hospital. The previous patient had returned. This time the patient seemed to be in even more pain. The doctor knocked on the glass outside the ward, telling the nurse to put on goggles and gloves to strengthen protective measures, but the nurse didn't take it seriously, told him to hurry in and help. The doctor put on double masks and goggles and began the surgery. The doctor's trembling hands cut open the patient's gums, but just after successfully extracting some toothworms, the patient immediately began convulsing. The toothworms had sensed danger and started frantically drilling into the patient's brain. The next second, the patient bit down on the doctor's neck, then pounced on the panicked nurse. The doctor hurriedly escaped to the next room. He pressed hard on his wound, but the toothworms had already invaded his body. Then he felt a sharp pain in his teeth. To save his life, he picked up a drill and drilled into his own gums. But just at this moment, the doctor discovered the nurse had already been controlled by the toothworms in her brain. The next second, the doctor's eyes began to hurt. He ran to the mirror. The toothworms had already drilled into his eyes. Immediately after, his body also began convulsing frantically.